This is the book of Proverbs chapter 14, point is verse 15, and it reads, "The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem, Hakodash, double honors to the elders and to the apostles that have learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aqua out there listening and learning. Lord, will and lead us as edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, and whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say Shalom. Brother Yahweh, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be, by Hashem, by his end, how is the Hashem his name, Yahushai meaning he saves, or he deliverer. Two names of the Most High is God and the Son, whom people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, but whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by an article that I got. I don't know what they're going to do, because, they say, medical misinformation when they want to deem something that they they did that a lot the years prior when the jump shot first came out, and now it's funny because now you got the guy Fauci in front of the Senate basically being questioned, because come to find out that medication actually unalived a lot of people, deleted a lot of people, because people chose to trust in Esau Edom before they chose to trust in the Most High. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get this scripture in the book of Job, and it reads, Job chapter 13 and verse 4, and it reads, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." And when you take the time to really think about it, as far as the way that this medical system is set up, when you go into the whole medical association, the American Medical Association, you'll find out that John D. Rockefeller actually helped fund it and created that organization, because they pushed a lot of petroleum-based medicines. And that's some devilish shit for real. You can actually see it was a trend where pretty much all the holistic medicines were pretty much, I won't say outlawed, but they pretty much start pushing all these, pills and all this, like I said again, this petroleum-based medications that actually don't heal you. They pretty much, treat you, when the whole point is to being healed. A lot of the diseases that people have, that people suffer from, people actually end up being, unalive from, are actually curable, because most disease comes from your diet. But again, that's why I basically read that if it's a physician of no value, because this medical industry is really, again, it's a money-making scheme. Like when you really sit back and the Lord dealing with you and your eyes get open, you will see that all this shit is like monopoly. Like these devils got their hand in everything, and everything's about money. When you take the time to really think about that whole jump shot shit, they made money. You know what I mean? Like all these hospitals was for it, and now you got all these people that's, like I said again, got all these diseases and issues and all that old shit. When it just, you come to find out that you got heavy metals in your body. I was listening to the guy Yaki, and he was saying it's things you can do, because your body can pretty much heal from anything. That's how cold the Lord is. The Lord created the body amazingly. To watch a man be able to move. I watched the one guy, they call him Unc from Diamond Gym, and like this dude, a firefighter, he actually one of them guys that be pulling like the fire truck. So with that much will could overcome a lot of shit. And based on our belief in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and the will to strive to remain loyal is going to help to chant this place down and bring this man's downfall. But again, I'm trying to tread carefully, because again, I know they. But what I find funny is you still talk about this CV shit, but he's in court, right? Congress had him come in front of him and pretty much asking him to answer himself, and he's already been pardoned. But at the same time, he's just a fall guy, because again, you got people that seeking blood for what this man did. And that one guy that asked him, I think he was a congressman, he said, "I understand why you did it, because you made a lot of fucking money at the expense of people's lives." So yeah, he got a hell of a judgment, just like Esau Edom. Back in Proverbs 14 and verse 15, I'm gonna read in the NLT. It says, "Only simpletons believe everything they're told. The prudent carefully consider their steps." And that's anybody. You're supposed to actually, What did Rockefeller say? He said, "I'm not creating a nation of thinkers. I'm creating a nation of workers." And they banking on most of these. I mean, Americans are so dumbed down right now. They don't take the time to consider anything. That's why they just jumped to and didn't hesitate at all before just putting. First of all, if you go research the time it takes to create a vaccine, that shit take years. It don't take those 6 months. And we just put some shit in you and we created a new tech. You was a guinea pig. But if you couldn't see that, or the Lord wasn't allowing nobody to open your eyes to it, the Lord wanted that to take place. So, but I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. I'm gonna probably name it Pestilences or something like that. Disease says CV is spreading again. Here are 10 symptoms to know before you blame it on the code. But again, like I say, to show you how dumbed down these people is, literally this nigga's in front of Congress. He just was in front of Congress trying to, they trying to get him to answer some questions. And he, it was a setup if the president already pardoned him. He was pardoned and you done killed millions. Where the fuck they do that at, right? You killed millions of people, but you get a pardon. Because at the end of the day, that jump shot, all it did was turn you people into antennas. So when they actually do start this 6G up, you're going to be a walking antenna. It says CV continues to circulate in the U.S. Now, we ain't been hearing about those CV all the time. Now, all of a sudden, with all this other shit going on. Hey, what's so funny? I just read an article. It was talking about the Federal Reserve just got hacked. Who all got hacked? They say the Federal Reserve, the Senate. It's a list of places, but NASA. So yeah, that's just showing you the reality of this place. Pretty much is on his last leg. You know what's that saying? Circling the drain. It says with federal wastewater monitoring. But the crazy part is they got money to build these data centers. When you notice your electrical bill going up, your water bill going up, both of mine just went up. That's because of these data centers. They say Ohio is going to have the largest data center in the world. I'm going to do a lesson on that. And the crazy part is we was talking about, how the jump shot was going to lead to this. And, now the data centers leading this. Because it ain't just the C-HIP. It's, a combination of things. The whole stable coins thing is part of it. It ain't just one thing. And they're building the infrastructure for this right now. And they got people so pretty much worn out mentally because, there's so much going on. It's hard to connect the dots if the Lord ain't dealing with you. It says, wastewater monitoring and seasonal trend updates showing new activity in multiple regions for people trying to figure out whether they have a cold, allergies, or CV. Overlapped. And I remember I was just listening to the elder from Chicago. He said the CV had a recovery rate of like 96 point something. Is when they took the jump shot that all these people died. It says the overlapping symptoms can make those first 24 to 48 hours confusing. Here are 10 symptoms health officials and I never even heard that. Clinicans. These motherfuckers making up words. Clinicans. Where'd that come from? Say are commonly linked to CV-19 and can be easy to dismiss at first. But again, a simpleton would just go ahead and be like, well, yeah, I'm gonna get the booster too. This nigga's on trial. Well, he's not on trial because again, he was pardoned. And that's all like for shits and giggles. Because again, like if the American people had any fight left in them, people lost family members and all kind of people just dropped dead. I'm talking about healthy people. How to make that make sense? It wasn't until they got something foreign introduced to their body that actually like you get the you got people that have complications from this shit. Yeah. So I mean, I just found it funny and decided to bring it out because again, this dude just was in front of the Senate trying to explain why this happened. So you'd be a fucking fool, which you got a lot of foolish Babylonians, but you'll be a fool to just go ahead and the thing is, the system they bring in pretty much, which will be pretty much a digital prison for real. What you think them flock cameras doing? Them flock cameras gonna monitor you and track and trace you from wherever the fuck you go. Hey, I was watching Jimmy Dore. He was saying because there was so much public outrage against the flock cameras, pretty much they act like they got rid of them, but they bring in a different kind of camera. And that's how they do it. So they really, maybe they gonna get rid of the flock camera, but they gonna bring something that's similar or even more advanced. So, again, you're dealing with the devil. The scriptures talk about the devil, which when you go into the word devil, it means slanderer, but, it can also mean deceiver, What is it? What they say? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world that he wasn't real. We living at a time where life is harder than it ever was, and then you got women so delusional, they still talk about, I don't need a man. When the whole purpose of life was set up for a man and woman to, procreate and bring forth more life. But a motherfucker sit up there and talk about, I like girls. But you are Satan, nigga. Like that. I mean, that's just the fact of it. If the Lord said he don't want a woman wearing what a man wear and a man wearing what a woman wear, why would you think he would want you to lay down with, the same sex? And that's in Romans and in the law. Book of John, chapter 8, and verse 44. It reads, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. Now this red letter, so these are the words of the Messiah, who these people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, but whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And when he was talking to actually Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, God's true chosen people, that fit the curses that's in the Bible. Everybody don't fit the curses. Just like you got people that still want to, you got these people hanging us again, and you still got niggas sitting over there talking about, why can't they be saved? Like, what do they need saving from? If anything, your goofy ass needs saving, because you could walk out here late. Now's not the time to be just. And what people fail to realize is Ohio, Cleveland especially, is a very fucking racist ass city. If you didn't know that. Hey, everybody should know about the Huff riots, right? I was on Huff recently. I found the KKK fucking flyer. So that letting you know they gonna go down to your baddest street, because niggas was so upset on Huff, they burnt their own shit down. The difference is this one ain't gonna be televised. That's why he got all these fucking ICE detention centers and shit like that. Like, what do you think about? A lot of people don't know. Dude, like that's the scriptures talking about ignorance and being damn, how's it worded? Be not ignorant of any small matter or great. Again, it's a tactic the devil use. He'll put out their propaganda. He'll, like say, he got all these distractions. You got, and all this time now you want to talk about this guy that killed Tupac, but this man that been said and wrote a book and everything. So why at this time do you want to? You got 4 rappers on trial right now, and you got some dumbass nigga following that shit. When you got the money about to crack, they just said they just hacked the Federal Reserve. Go figure that shit out. You do know that's who print the money, right? Says he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. This man is a liar. This man, Donald Trump, this man said, we're going to make lots and lots of money. Millionaires a trick. I can't do it like the elder, but that nigga be lying like a motherfucker. Like, just look you right in the face and lie. That's the devil. The man lied about who the Messiah is, what he looked like. Hey, a lot of people don't know this. Putin went into the archives because, that's the old Byzantine Empire, Russia. And if you go look, he'll show you the pictures. The Messiah was black. All the disciples was black. That's why Russian women like black niggas. They're like. Because there is no truth in him. Y'all gonna keep trusting in this man? And then what's so funny is Donald Trump ain't even a good businessman. If you go really do the research, every business that he started failed. He just know motherfuckers with money. Says, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And just like he lied to Eve in the garden, because Satan or the serpent wasn't a actual serpent. It was a serpent-like man. It tells you that in the Bible. So he's subtle, he's cunning. He was able to manipulate her. And he's still manipulating her to this day. You got women about to go over there and fight a war. So all that, oh, we equal shit about to go out the window later. But it ain't, because you done already signed up for it, because we equal. So we can both equally die. Hey, but guess what though? His son ain't gonna go. Ain't that the first one to rally the troops? Hey, if you ever seen Game of Thrones, that's what they trying to do with Joffrey. Joffrey's like, no, I'm gonna give you charge. I'm gonna give you charge of it. Because it's a whole different level when you gotta actually be in there doing that. Hey, a lot of people don't even know that battleship, that the aircraft carrier, the Abraham Lincoln, pretty much had a mutiny on it because them people don't want to go to war. They actually losing the war, mind you, which is in the Bible. They're not winning, they're losing. That's why they about to do a draft, an automatic draft. So if you got any children between 18 and 26, yeah, you better start doing up prayers, and the prayer probably ain't gonna save you, because anybody that go over to that war is not coming back. That's in the Bible as well, in the Apocrypha. It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, chapter 11, Salakia. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, point is verse 14, and it reads, let's start at verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And that goes into those false pastors. You know, you got individuals that's not telling the people what the micro C-hip is. That is the mark of the beast. And if you present it with it, you're supposed to not take it. You're supposed to trust in the Lord. You know, you're going to trust in Esau, Edom. You'll be a fucking... This man been... You know, it kind of pisses you off, but I mean, at the same time, that's why you got to realize how much of a blessing and how much grace we truly have, because everybody's not aware or awake to what's going on. They're hanging niggas again. So let that sink in. And you think you fucking free? Verse 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. These the same people that sit up there and be your sheriffs and whatnot and smiling in the daylight. You know that it's still what they call sundown towns, where if they see a nigga, when the sun go down, they pick a nigga. But again, like I say, the average individual is deceived. You got to understand that this society was basically set up on false balances. You know, it was not set up fair. Why do you think you got projects? The project was what it's called, a project. They put all the niggas in one area in poverty and let them. That's why, what you expect when you got poverty. I mean, crime goes up. Crime has went up just because of the fact it's a lack of jobs. I'm gonna end it with this: the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. Scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy." People forgot who the enemy was. You know, the average so-called black woman to look at the black man as the enemy, which that's in the scriptures. It said the woman's eye gonna be evil to her husband. So again, a lot of nations don't fit the curses. You know, you got a whole city in Israel called Tel Aviv that have some of the biggest gay parades. Yet still, the Bible tells you, it's against homosexuality. Ain't that something? These people are deceived. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. Going straight to the point, and it says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. I'm going to look up the word wiles, which basically goes into devices. But for shits and giggles. When it start doing that, it ain't even playing it. Well, I can't pronounce it. It says methodaya, and it says basically biblical usage, cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery. Because again, this man is, he uses words to manipulate. That's why you got a lot of these, like Donald Trump, man. He's not even a good liar. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just the spell that's cast on these people. Again, people hope in everything but the Most High God, especially 2/3 of His people, and that's why the scriptures say 2/3. So like 2/3 are gonna be destroyed, because you'd rather trust in your enemy. Which, I mean, not only all this other stuff going on, but he's rounding up tribes right now. If you a nigga that's too light skinned and you might favor, you can kind of look like a Puerto Rican or a Mexican, your ass liable to get snatched up. That's been happening. California, Chicago. Wouldn't be surprised if it happens sometimes up here, because they here too. So I'm in the lesson there, Your so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, similar Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power. His true name in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You will be destroyed. But that one give all praise, all honor, and all glory to. Call law, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem. Kodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aquat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. You all say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharala and Mawatha Lababal.